What's up guys, Lord Carlitos here from Garage Fitness Gym, and this is part 2 of building my home gym. Renovation? Demolition? What did I call it? I don't know, but building the home gym, part 2. Last week you guys seen the demolition. I'll put a couple clips here where we took down that wall in the middle. We took out all the old tile that was down there, all the drywall, everything. If you guys haven't watched that demolition video, you guys should go check it out. That was last week's episode. We took it completely apart so we could have a blank slate and start the work that we're gonna do today. Took everything to the dump. We ended up taking 3 trips to the dump, so that was a lot of garbage we had down there. We had to do all the clean out and everything, so we got that done. Now it's time for the electrical. So even though I feel like some of the electrical work, like changing outlets and things like that, I'm a bit more comfortable with, but since it's a basement, I don't want to mess with the electrical, so we're getting it hired out. Getting a professional electrician out here. So for the electrical, we're putting in new pot lights, new outlets, and just really checking what's down there, because in the basement, there's a lot of random wires that aren't connected to anything. Like, it does not make sense what's down there, so hopefully we can clear up the circuits, clear up some of the room in the panel that we have downstairs, and just really check if there's anything that we can do or anything that we should do to the basement beforehand. Electrical is one of those things that I want to get done professionally. This is an old house, so the electrical can be a complete mess. Hopefully it's not, but we'll get it done regardless. On top of that, we're also gonna add another breaker panel here in the garage. Even though it's not going to be a gym in here, we might use it for an office or a workshop, or who knows what we use it for. But since we have the electrician out here, we might as well just put some 240 volts in the garage, put some breaker panels or whatever we need to get. So we'll wait for the electrician, and I'll let you guys know when he's here. Let's go. So the electricians made it out here, and they first started off with changing out all the outlets that we had. Taking out the old wires, making sure everything was okay there. This is the washroom here, how it's looking. They put the new pot lights in. They just drilled up the holes for the pot lights and wired it up. They haven't put the lights in yet. So here are the new outlets that are going to go around the kitchen. They're looking at the panel there. So here's the laundry room there. And yeah, that's pretty much how the basement's looking. It's starting to look a little bit better, so with all the new outlets and stuff, cleaned up the area here a bit, so slowly but surely getting there. Yeah. So I'll show you guys the basement, how it's looking. It's looking pretty good. Here's the guys putting in the new wiring for the pot lights, all the holes there, and the panel all opened up where they're wiring everything up. The electricians are finishing up today. We got some big decisions to do. So originally we were just gonna put in pot lights, change outlets, and maybe clean up whatever wires were down there. So they're gonna have to do a lot more work. They have to go through our entire breaker system. So apparently the wire that was coming from the street into our house was a 60 amp wire, and the panel that we had downstairs was a 200 amp. So we've been using 200 amps this whole time, thinking that's what we got and that's what we can use. But unfortunately that means that we were frying the wire that was coming from the street, and he even showed me that, yeah, some of that wire was really burnt, or it was not installed properly or something. I'm not even sure what happened there. Again, this is an old house, so maybe the previous owner or some work that was done a long time ago. Luckily, the house didn't burn down, but that could have been serious. That could have been a huge thing, where if we would have left it like that, adding new pot lights, adding new circuits in that panel, we could have fried out that wire that was coming to the house and burned everything down. Crisis averted, I guess. Good thing we got an electrician out here, because that's something we would have never caught. So now the plan is we gotta change that out. That means we have to get the city involved. We have to call them up so they can shut off that power for the day and get a service upgrade. Hopefully, since right now the whole world is crazy, hopefully that doesn't take too long. But I called already and it seems like it might be a month. So some delays there. On top of that, since they're gonna have to do a full service upgrade, they're gonna have to completely go through the panel that we had now and pretty much rewire everything. So you just hear the dollar signs right there, you just hear money burning, and that seems like what we're gonna have to do. So it's gonna be expensive. I think our $10,000 budget is already on the line here. So we'll see how much that is, but we gotta get it done, man. We can't go back now. And either way, even if we didn't do it, we were in danger here. So that's what we gotta do. The electricians left. They finished the pot light holes. They finished wiring it up, but they said they're not gonna put the pot lights in yet until we get that service upgrade. So let's try to figure that out. Yeah, let's go. So they're done for the day, and this is how they left it out. Just left the wires there, so when we finish up all the drywalling and all the plastering, we could easily put in the lights afterwards. But all the wires are there, so it took them about a day to do this. Now we just gotta wait for the city to come out and see when we can change out this panel here. So since we're gonna have to go through the whole entire panel, we could actually move that panel out of the kitchen, and we're gonna put it here in the laundry room. So that's gonna be pretty nice. So at first when we got the electricians in, we just wanted them to come here, put some pot lights, put some outlets around the place. But the more they saw, once they did their inspection before they started work, they realized that the power coming into the house was all messed up. So we needed a service upgrade. We had 60 amps coming into our house, whereas we needed around 200 amps. The big issue was that we were receiving 60 amps, but we already had a 200 amp breaker panel in the house, so that was just frying up the wire that used to go from the street into our house. Again, I'm not an electrician, so this is what they told me, and I've done a little bit of research to see what that even means, but pretty much we were screwed. We had to fix all that. We need to get a service upgrade, and that really pushed things behind. Whereas now we have to wait for the city to come approve the work, obviously get the permits and everything, but now we have to wait for them to do the service upgrade. And that we have it already booked up. It's gonna be next week. So I'm happy that all that is in check. So today they're just doing all the roughing, getting all the PVC or whatever they really use, all the pipes through, all the wires ready, everything. So then Thursday when the city comes, you could do it quick, and we'll have a panel in here and also in the garage, and then the pot lights will be already, outlets will be good, and we're set. I actually brought down some mats down here and a couple weights just because I was doing some Zoom calls with my clients, and we're doing some work here from FaceTime, and the garage is really hot right now. I think right now it's 30 degrees Celsius. Brought down some of the mats here. Can FaceTime them. They don't see the mess behind me, but that helps out a little bit having this nice cool. So I already had my first workout in here, believe it or not, and it was a good one. So I'm excited for when this is done. So for today, the electricians were gonna do all the roughing. They're gonna put in the new panel box and set up all the wires up. So when the city comes, they just need to change that one wire from the street. First thing was to drill this hole in the garage. This is connected to the new meter that they're installing. Yeah, so the wire comes from the street, goes into the meter, that goes into the garage, which is in an on-off switch. Then it goes into the basement. And they also had to go to the room upstairs just to connect the cable that holds the wire in. So a couple days later, the city finally showed up after about 2 months of waiting, getting permits, getting inspections. The city finally took this wire down. That's the old 60 amp wire, and I can't be happier to see it go down. So now finally the electricians can unwire that old panel, take everything out, and move it over to the laundry room. So this is him right here, putting the new panel in. So he has to rewire all those old wires and bring them over to this side. which after everything, that's some good news. So I don't have to have a huge panel in the kitchen behind the cabinets. The panel will be right here in the laundry room. Yeah, these guys worked hard. They wired it all up. This is the new panel, how it looks wired up. Beforehand, it was a mess. They had to move everything over, so this is how it looked. Moving all those wires over. But now it looks like this, and it looks pretty good. I can't say how happy I am with the work they did. Now the panel has its new location here in the laundry room where it's not going to bother anyone, where we don't have to frame around there or anything like that. It's right here with all the breakers. So that's awesome. At least some good came out of this, but trust me, it was a long process. I'm glad that it's finally finishing up. All that was left to do was for the city to come and rewire the new wire, the 200 amp wire here, and that's it. That's it. All they had to do is get it from the street. The electricians took care of everything else, which is awesome. So the guys finished. This is the new meter that we have here and the new cable. You guys could see that. That's what they added. That's the 200 amp, 200 volt, 220. I'm not sure. I'm not an electrician again, but look at that. That's the new one. That's the one that costs a lot, but at least the house isn't gonna burn down anymore. I'll go show you guys what the garage looks like. So in the garage they added the new pony panel here. This one's the on-off switch there. That one comes from the meter, goes into there, and then into the basement to the new panel that's down there. Here we also added a breaker box. So if we ever need something for the garage, if we ever need to add more electrical stuff, we have a new breaker box here, and that one's also wired in already. So that is it for this episode, part 2 of the electrical. This one was a wild one. This is probably the one that we were anticipating the most, but yeah, it was a lot of work. I know it seems like it was a quick process, but it took about a month and a half trying to get the permits, trying to get the inspections to come through. Yeah, it was a lot of emails and stuff like that. So glad it's finally done. Yeah, these panels are so nice. Look at this. Look at this panel here. Where is it? Look at this panel and this one here. These are so nice. So we got that done. Anyways, guys, if you guys liked the video, be sure to subscribe. Oh, it's so bright. Be sure to subscribe. If you guys want to see the next video on this series, this is going to be a series. So this is part 2. Part 3, we got the plumber coming through. We're also going to get the drywall and plaster. That's going to be next week's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Leave a like if you did, so you guys can see more videos like this. Also, if you guys didn't see the demolition, you guys should watch that one first. I don't know why you watched this one first, but you know, if you're here, if you're new here, welcome. But anyways, I'll see you guys in our next video. It's gonna be next week, part 3. Peace.